Hi everyone, today I'm gonna show you how I bind my loose art journal pages, and I'm gonna do a small flip through. It's Marquet here, Lemon Creation. Welcome to my channel. Let me be brutally honest, it was not an easy task. Half of the project I had my cat on my desk. He didn't want to move. It's cold outside, it's raining, so he's hibernating. And I have so many loose pages. It's been he's so cute, no? It's been a long time since I bind my pages together, so I decided it's time to do it. And yes, I'm not having any help at all, just the opposite. So a little bit of you have a little bit of a corner view, but that's actually on purpose. I didn't want to show you all my pages. I just wanted to show you just to tell you rather what I was doing with them. So I think in total I have around 100 pages, like loose pages. They are roughly half of A5 size, and I do a lot of projects on them. And as I did, I am not showing you on purpose the whole pages, not only because of the cat, but on purpose because I decided to divide them into separate groups: watercolor, abstract, acrylic paints, like very easy pages, or just like normal mixed media art journal pages. And I decided to make, I think I'm gonna make in total 3 of art journals like that, with the pages. And today I'm gonna show you how to do one of them. Look at that, guys. Nothing bothers him, like nothing. So here are my pages, which I grouped kind of to the best of my abilities, but some of them were not I was not sure where to actually put them. I'm sorry guys, but every time I look at my cat, he's so absolutely cute, and he's so absolutely lazy, and like he's the obvious king of the house. Let me come back to the art journal. So I took the pages from one of the pile. Those are mixed media art journal pages, which I'm gonna be binding together today. And I decided, or I do it always when I do that, I just put them into pairs. So color-wise usually, or theme-wise. So like that, I have a little bit of consistency in my art journal, and that's why I love working like that on the loose pages, because later I can actually arrange them to my liking. And that's one of the reasons why I'm also loving so much butterfly art journal. So right now on the screen you can see the scrap pieces of black paper. This is a kind of a cardstock paper. Actually it's even called watercolor paper, but it's black, and I don't ever use it for watercolors. I bought it in my local shop, so it's quite cheap. I don't think it will work super well with watercolors. And I fold it in the middle. I cut it to the size of the page. I fold it into a half, and you can have a paper which is wider. You can even use the paper which will cover both sides of the book, but I just prefer to use the scrap pieces of paper, and for me it works fine. I mean, I do not sell my art journals, so I always repeat that. I don't care as long as they are not getting bad and they are holding well together. That's fine with me. So that's why I'm using scrap pieces of paper, and I like to use black, especially that somehow, even though I measure them, my pages are not even, because I use different type of papers. And sometimes, when they are papers which, theoretically they are A5 size, but they are perforated on the side, and I have to cut this perforation so it's not visible. They are changing the size, and like that, they are not even. So that's why I prefer to use a black paper to put the pages together. And that's what I'm doing. I'm gluing them together this way, as you can see. And then I'm putting the kind of clips onto the paper, so I'm sure it's gonna hold well in time. And this is a very quick process, or I'm showing you very quickly my process of binding the loose pages into art journal, because I'm gonna give you in the description below this video a link to the video where I actually did the whole process page by page basically, and so like that you can see it clearly. I didn't want to repeat myself because that's no point, and for those of you who already watched that or know this technique, it serves no purpose. So like that, there is gonna be a link in the description box below to the video, about this first art journal, which I made like that, which I bind like that. Also, with the credit to the person who I actually watched on the tutorial on the YouTube, from whom I learned this technique. And so like that, I prepared already a few pages because I was working late at night with my cat spread on my desk, so I didn't want to record everything, but I prepared pages so they are already done, because there is no point for you to see every single page made the same way. And here is another idea to bind the pages together, especially if your pages are of not the same size. So you can pre-cut your paper, your base paper, to the size of 2 pages put together, plus a little bit or like 1 or 2 millimeters for the crease in the middle, because you have to have a crease in the middle. And like that, you just place the pages on the paper. You get the beautiful black frames to the page, which I love also, because you know me, I love my black contrast, especially if the pages are very white. And as you can see, I'm using double-sided tape and adding a little bit of glue still, so I'm sure that they shouldn't move with time, the pages. And like that, I put them together. And in case of this page, you're actually gonna see what I'm talking about. This page, it's already somehow smaller than the other. And on top of that, it has a perforated side. And I was thinking, I put the tape on it, and I was thinking I'm gonna leave it like that, and then I actually didn't like it at all, so I took my scissors and quickly cut off this visible perforated part of the page. So like that, it looks much nicer. It's like finished nicer. And there is a small piece still on top of it. And so like that, as you can see, you have kind of like a small book with 2 pages, and then you can put everything together. And as I mentioned, I already worked a little bit last night on those pages. So right now the question is of putting them all together, and that's what I've done. And it's as simple as that. You just you need to have this, something to in the middle to keep the pages together, and then you just glue the double pages, and you can also decide where they'll go. If they'll go, if you're gonna make the journal like thematic wise or maybe color wise, and start with, I don't know, all the red pages and then go wherever. I like to change a little. I don't like to have the same pages all the time, or the same color pages, so I change. Sometimes they have a white background or no background at all. Sometimes they have black background, so like that it looks nicer. I think it's kind of interesting, when you change the pages, and you don't know what to expect when you turn the page. Well, I just got it. I wanted to say alternate the pages. So, and the pages which have no background at all, it means that they are not actually placed on this black background like here, and they do not have frame rather than the background. But that's the thing. Sometimes, I come back to the edition, to what I just said, and I think, oh my goodness, bad words, but thought process, it doesn't work. So quickly now, I'm showing you how you build up your art journal, but the process is right now sped a little bit, and like that, it doesn't take too much of your time, and it's basically very repetitive. Once you have this kind of like a double page, connected by this thing in the middle, which I have no idea what the word is, but by this piece of, paper, scrap paper. you can place it to the rest of the book. This is the worst part of bookmaking. Actually, you have to be careful to put all the corners together so that everything goes well together. And sometimes, yes, there are some pieces sticking out, like just tiny pieces, like a 1 millimeter, which is very visible still. So you have to just take your scissors or take your cutting knife and, and just get rid of that. Meanwhile, my croc came back. He is here on my desk every single night, uh, looking for hacks. And so the next step is to put the cover on. And I put the whole journal together. I left 2 pages on the side, you can see there. I was thinking I'm gonna put them on the cover because they are completely flat, but then I decided against it, and I was thinking I either gonna use scrapbooking paper or I'm gonna use the same paper I used as a scraps or as a backgrounds. But I said to myself, why not use the scrapbooking papers? I have some of the papers still left from the times when I was doing scrapbooking layouts. Right now I don't do them anymore. These ones from 7 Dot Studio, which I absolutely adore or love, I think they are like, I don't know, 8 years old. And so, as you can see, this is my way of doing the cover. I kind of, it's not really eyeballing it, but I am not super precise with the measurements. I broke my machine at the same time. Not really even machine. I broke rather my page. Didn't think that the paper was so thick. Later I fixed it, like it's not gonna be visible on the book because as you can see now, I actually not later, but now I cut it. I cut the part of it with the scissors. But the problem was that yes, I think my thing to cut, my cutting machine doesn't work anymore very well, and I have to change the blade. So you have to be careful with that. But as I said later, it's not gonna be visible because I'll cut it to the size, and you're not gonna see anything because there is a tiny bit of extra cover on top and on the bottom of the book, and also on one of the sides, I think on the left hand side. Now I wanted to show you the book, my first book, I think, which I've made upside down. But if you want to see the flip through, I'm gonna give you a link in the description box below. I'll try to put it here in the corner. But the first one I've done, it was done the same way, but actually for the spine I used a piece of cloth. This time I decided to go completely with the paper for the first time, just to check how it's holding in time and if it's a good idea. And because I was actually too busy also to go for this whole, looking for the fabric, taking it, like painting it in black, because I usually paint in black, and making the cover with the fabric is a tiny bit different, and that you can see also in the video I'm telling you about. So if you want to check that out, it's tiny bit different. So I decided to just go for a quick fix today, and so that's why I am doing the paper cover, thinking that if one day it breaks or if I notice that it doesn't hold well, I can always replace it. Because let's be honest, it's not like the tape is not that permanent that I won't be able to one day just take it out nicely and replace it with something else. But for now I wanted to just do it like that, quite an easy cover. There was a time when I was using or making very elaborate covers, with some kind of like castings and stuff like that. But honestly, covers, they should be as flat as possible, to me at least, because I do not have that much stocking place. Yes, I think. And when they have a lot of small pieces on the cover, they fell with the time. So that's also very important for me. Right now I'm doing just very, very, very simple covers, but I find that they are actually the nicest one. I don't like the ones I made before, you know. And this is the tricky part. Try to put it really well, like really align very well all the corners so everything works well. And then you have to kind of almost stretch the cover, you know, to be able to bind it well and that it glue well or it adheres beautifully. And look at that, guys, my goodness, really, really nice. This paper is just amazing. It's so cute. And as you can see, there are some tiny parts of the cover sticking out on top, on the bottom as well, and I think at the front and at the back. And so that's why I took my very useful cutting board. That's the tiny one I have. I have a big one as well, which is super cool. And it actually, I should have maybe used the big one because it has a ruler. It's the one from We Are Memory Keeper. It has a ruler which is how do you call it, magnetic, so it holds better. But otherwise, you can use your craft knife and just cut the cover to the size like so. And for this part, I really felt like I need to do some edges, like blacken the edges with Archival ink. Because I didn't like that you can see right now that they are white, and I didn't like that, and I wanted to kind of finish it off. And quite often I add some small sentiment to the cover because I like, and this time I got it one from Really Silly Words, and I thought it's just gonna match so nicely the book. Once you put the sentiment on the cover, you also have to be quite careful because, you know, it's something which is adhered to the page and which is kind of sticking out of the page. So if you put it with other books, you have to be careful that it doesn't fall off. But I thought that this one is just perfect for this little book of happiness. It says limited edition. And as you can see, the book is opening. I think it's because of the fact that the spine of the book is made from the paper. I don't have this problem with the first book I made where the spine is made of this fabric. And so I decided to close it. So it takes less space in my drawer because I put my books in the drawer. I don't have any other place to put them. So I decided to add also a small charm to it. Because with the elastic, I think elastic is quite boring just by itself. So why not add a small charm? But because the cover are so charged already with the beautiful designs, but still it's very busy on the cover, I didn't want to add a huge charm. So I decided to go with a small heart, handmade with love, because it is. And I just place it in the middle of the I don't know the word, in the middle of this twisting of the knot. Thank you very much, Asha, finally. Sometimes I get there, sometimes it's very hard and the words are just, you know, going away from me. And just to be sure that everything works fine, I decided to kind of like burn the edges of the, you know, of the elastic, you know what I'm talking about, because I'm not the only one who does that. So like that, I'm sure they will, they shouldn't anyway, they shouldn't come out with time, or they shouldn't get unknotted. I'm not sure if that's good. And that's it, guys. Look at that. It looks really nice. The pages look a perfect size. Everything looks good. There was a part of elastic, you know, the white part from the middle, which was sticking out. So I just covered it with the permanent marker. And it looks perfect. I'm really happy with this cover. So if you want to stick for a while longer, I'm gonna make a short flip through all the pages I put together in this art journal, and I'm gonna leave you with the music in the background, and I'll be back at the very end. As you probably noticed, there is a lot of negative space pages in this art journal, and there is also a lot of stamps and stencils, which I design, which you can find in my shop also. But I absolutely love it. It looks so nice, so small, so tiny, and so really like perfect. I was not even thinking that the cover is gonna work so nicely. And look at them, they are both almost the same size. There is few millimeters of difference. But yes, I'm showing you here. You're gonna get the link to the first video how I made this book. And that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and as always, thank you so much for subscribing, for hitting notification bell button, for all of your comments, and I hope I'm gonna see you in my next video. Please visit my shop as well. I wish you all truly beautiful day, and I hope I'm gonna see you soon. Bye bye.